He was standing in the pouring rain, holding an umbrella over a stray cat. When I first saw him, it was one of those sudden Seoul downpours that turns the streets of Gangnam into a glittering, chaotic river of neon reflections. I was soaked, my cheap convenience store umbrella having surrendered to a gust of wind moments ago. Cars were splashing through puddles, and people were huddled under awnings. But he just stood there, this impeccably dressed man in a tailored suit, shielding a tiny, shivering creature. I thought, wow, some people really have it all, even the kindness to spare for a stray. Then his driver pulled up in a sleek black sedan, the kind you only see in dramas, and he gently placed the cat inside before his eyes met mine. He paused, then walked over, extending the large, sturdy umbrella over my head. "I'm King Junho," he said, his voice as smooth as the polished leather of his shoes. "My car is right there. Let me give you a ride." I was so stunned. I just nodded, mumbling a thank you as he guided me into the warmth of his car. I was just a part-timer, struggling to make rent, and here I was, sitting on plush leather seats next to a man who looked like he owned half of Seoul. I never expected to see him again. A week later, I started my new job. It was a referral from a friend, a housekeeping position in a luxurious villa in Pyeongchang-dong. The pay was incredible, enough to finally let me breathe. The head housekeeper, a stern but fair woman named Mrs. Park, gave me the tour. The house was a masterpiece of modern architecture, all glass walls, minimalist furniture, and breathtaking views of the city. My heart was pounding with a mix of excitement and terror. This was my chance to get my life on track. Mrs. Park handed me a list of duties and then said, "The master of the house will be home shortly. He is very particular. Please be diligent." I nodded, my hands sweating. Just then, the front door opened, and in walked King Junho, the man from the rainy night. Our eyes locked. The world seemed to stop. His sharp, handsome face registered a flicker of surprise, then amusement, then something unreadable. "You," he said, his voice echoing in the cavernous entryway. I felt my face flush crimson. "Me," I squeaked out, bowing deeply. "I'm Lee Soo-jin, the new housekeeper." A slow smile spread across his face. "Well, Lee Soo-jin, welcome to my home." Life in his house was surreal. By day, I dusted his expensive art pieces and tried not to break anything. By night, I'd sometimes catch glimpses of him, working late in his study, the glow of his laptop illuminating his focused expression. Our interactions were awkward and brief. A polite good morning as he left for his office at the top of a gleaming skyscraper. A quiet thank you when I served him dinner, usually simple jjigae or bibimbap, which he seemed to surprisingly prefer over fancy meals. I learned his habits. Black coffee in the morning, no sugar. He hated clutter. He had a soft spot for the stray cat, which he named Bomi, and would often sit with her by the window, watching the city lights. One evening, I was cleaning the kitchen when he came in to get a glass of water. "You cook well," he said suddenly, making me jump. The kimchi jjigae was excellent. It reminded me of. He trailed off, a shadow of nostalgia crossing his face. I mumbled my thanks, my heart doing a little flip. He was the powerful CEO of a tech giant, a man who graced magazine covers, yet in these small moments, he seemed just lonely. The tension started building, not just between us, but from the outside world. King had a fiancée, a chaebol heiress named Oyura. She was beautiful, elegant, and she looked at me like I was something she'd scraped off her designer heel. She'd visit unannounced, criticizing my cleaning, rearranging furniture, and making it clear that I was just the help. One afternoon, she cornered me in the hallway. "I don't know what you think you're doing," she hissed, her voice low and menacing. "But stay away from Junho. He's mine. He would never look at someone like you." Her words stung, a painful reminder of the vast social chasm between us. Around the same time, rumors started at Mr. Kang's company. A rival executive, Director Choi, was trying to undermine him, and I accidentally overheard a suspicious phone call Choi made while I was cleaning a meeting room. He used in the house. He was planning to leak false information to tank the company's stock before a major merger. I was terrified. Should I tell Murdoch King? Would he even believe me? A housekeeper meddling in corporate espionage? It sounded ridiculous. That night, a storm raged outside, mirroring the one in my heart. I finally gathered my courage and knocked on his study door. He looked up, surprised to see me so late. I'm sorry to bother you, Director King, but I have to tell you something. I recounted the phone call I'd overheard, my voice trembling. He listened intently, his expression unreadable. For a long moment after I finished, he was silent. I thought he was going to fire me, or worse, laugh at me. Instead, he stood up, walked over, and gently placed a hand on my shoulder. Thank you, Sujin, he said, his voice soft. I believe you. The relief that flooded through me was so overwhelming, I felt my knees go weak. He steadied me, his hands firm on my arms. In that moment, the line between CEO and housekeeper, between rich and poor, blurred into nothing. There was just us, two people in a quiet house, with a storm breaking outside. He looked at me, his gaze intense, and I knew something had shifted forever. He was no longer just my boss, and I was no longer just the girl he saved in the rain. The next day was chaos. Mr. Kane used my information to preemptively counter Director Choi's attack, saving the company and exposing the corporate sabotage. The news was everywhere. That evening, he came home early. Sujin, he called out, his voice echoing through the silent house. I found him in the living room, standing by the large glass window, looking out at the city. He turned to face me. His fiancée, Oyura, had been implicated in the plot with Director Choi. Their engagement was off. I broke it off, he clarified, as if reading my mind. It was a business arrangement. It was never real. He took a step closer. What is real? He continued, his voice dropping to a near whisper, is how I feel when I come home and smell your cooking. It is how this empty house has started to feel like a home because you lay in it. My heart was hammering against my ribs. He reached out and gently tucked a stray strand of hair behind my ear, his fingers lingering on my cheek. Sujin, he said my name, and it sounded like a prayer. I don't want you to be my housekeeper anymore. I wanted to say something, anything, but my throat was tight. He smiled, a genuine, breathtaking smile that reached his eyes. He leaned in, and as the city lights twinkled below us like a sea of fallen stars, he whispered, So, Lee Sujin, what do you say? Will you have dinner with me? Not as my employee, but as the woman I can't stop thinking about. And in that moment, I knew my life would never be the same again. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.